G'day everybody and welcome back to the Average Joe Josie channel. In today's video, we're going to look at the interface for Gdevelop. Hold on tight, here we go. When you open Gdevelop for the first time, you'll be on the Home tab. On the Home tab, on the left hand side, you'll see there's a list of buttons. The Get Started button will be highlighted. On this page, you'll see everything you need to get started with Gdevelop, from guided lessons to more resources that you can explore on your own time. The next button is the Build button. On this page, you'll see the game templates. These are games that are partly created so that you can get the look and feel for Gdevelop. Also, you'll see My Projects. These are games that you're currently working on and have saved either in the cloud or on your computer. So, the next button that we have is the Shop button. If you click on the Shop button, you'll see this is basically the asset store. You can explore by category or by bundles. Most of them are free and there are some paid assets as well. The following is the Learn button. On this page, you'll see more in-depth guides and tutorials. This is really worth checking out because there's a lot of great information in there. Then we've got the Play button. On this page, you can go have a look what some other game creators created in Gdevelop. Really fantastic games out there. The last button that we've got is the Community button. On this page, you'll see news and announcements. Also, you'll see how to join the conversation with other great Gdevelop forums. Now we're going to have a closer look at the actual interface of Gdevelop. To do this, we'll have to create a new project. When you're on the Home tab, on the left top side, you'll see three little lines. Click on that and then you'll see File and then Create and then click on New Empty Project. The new project window will pop up. Here you can select the resolution for your game and then also your project name. If you don't know what to call it, then you can just press the little right hand arrow and it will automatically generate a random name for you. Also, you'll have to specify where on the computer you want to save your project. And then once you've selected these few settings, you can then click on the Create Project button right at the bottom. This will now automatically take you to the main work area space, and this is where all the magic happens. By creating a new project, it automatically creates a new scene and a scene events tab at the top. So what you need to know is that in the middle is the main work area. This is the area where you place all your objects and assets onto, where you actually create your game, and finally what your player is going to see. On the right hand side, you'll see the Objects panel. So, what is an object? An object is anything in your game. It's from the trees to the birds to the characters to the floor to the numbers. So just for the purposes of this tutorial, I'll be adding a single object so that you can see what it looks like. On the Objects panel on the bottom, you'll see there's a little button called Add a New Object. Once you press on that, then the Asset Store will open up. So you can either add a new asset or object from scratch, or you can add it from the asset store. In this case, for the tutorial, we'll be adding an asset from the asset store. In the search bar, you can type any keyword. For our purposes, we'll be typing player. So let's take this little character with a green hat. You'll notice that it says it's got 16 animations. But that's something we can talk about at a later stage. Now, click on the little character. A new screen will open up. If you're happy with this character, then at the right hand bottom, click on the Add to Scene button. Now you can close this window, and then you'll see the player is added to the Objects panel. You can now from there drag it from the Objects panel into the main work area. So now on the left hand side, you'll notice that there's a Properties panel. Once you clicked on the character which you dragged in from the Object panel, you'll see on the left hand side that it's got all the properties for this specific object. The next part of the interface that you need to get acquainted with is the Layers panel at the bottom. On this panel you can add layers, you can remove layers, you can rename layers. But what exactly is a layer, you might ask? Every layer that you add to your scene is like a plastic sheet onto which you add objects and other assets. You can arrange layers in front of each other so that you can get the desired effect that you want in your game. So on top of the main work area, you'll see a ribbon with different buttons. Starting right at the left, the button with the two squares and the rectangle, that's the Project Manager. The Project Manager is a very nifty little panel there. It contains all the settings, the global variables, and even add extensions on there. We'll get into more detail later on. Next to the project manager, we've got the save button. Then we've got the preview button once you want to preview the game you've created. Next to that is the share button once you want to share your game with the community. Then after that, we've got a list of icons which are shortcuts to different panels on the interface. The first one is the object panel. The second one is the group object panel. Then we've got the properties panel. Then we've got the instances list. Then we've got the layers panel. Then we've got the toggle or edit grid. I normally put the grid on because it just makes adding objects and assets so much easier. Then we've got the undo, the redo, the zoom, the delete, and the open settings button. The last part of this tutorial is the events tab at the top. If you click on that, you'll see this is where all the game logic happens. If it looks a little bit daunting, don't worry about it. We're going to take it bit by bit so that you understand it completely. So that is that for this tutorial. I am confident that you've got all the basics that you need so that we can start creating your own game. If you find this tutorial helpful, please click the like and subscribe button. It really helps our channel a lot. So play around with the interface and get used to it, because in the next video we're going to start creating a game.